Hello, hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the Playbook Diaries. I am your host, Jardin, and today we have a special guest, my homegirl from TikTok. I found her on TikTok, Miss J. How you doing, Jay?
I'm doing all right. How about yourself?
I'm doing good, good. I have to apologize to the viewers, the listeners, for my 3 week hiatus. I had my 30th birthday party, and it took me a while to recover from that. Took me a while to recover, but now I'm back, and we're finna get back to back to back to back episodes for the rest of the summer for you guys. So, with that, before we jump into it, actually, Jay, give us some of your background. Tell us
All
something
right.
about you.
All righty. Well, first off, I'm Jay Jackson. I'm from Long Island, New York, and I mostly report on women's basketball on TikTok, and known as how do I say it? A professional yapper. That's all I do. But I love it. I love the sport. I've been watching the WNBA and women's college basketball since I was a kid. So I think it's great to be able to have this platform and meet different people, meeting you as well. And I'm just having so much fun. I love it. But
Awesome,
also,
awesome. So
I do
before
work in
we
the TV. Oh, sorry.
No, 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 go ahead, go ahead. No, go ahead.
But but also I do work in the TV and film industry. I do camera work and stuff like that, and it's great. So
Wow,
there you
that's
go.
pretty cool. That's pretty cool.
Mhm.
I do have a question to pop us off. Which one do you enjoy watching better, or enjoy watching more, WNBA or women's college basketball?
The WNBA. That's where my heart's at.
Okay, okay. I'm a college fan. I'm a huge college
Okay.
fan. I'm always pick the college sports.
Respect,
All right, y'all.
respect.
So we're finna get right into it, into the Pacers versus OKC series. If you missed the game last night, the Pacers lost to the Oklahoma City Thunder, 109 to 120, now making the series three for OKC and two for the Pacers. Jay, what you got to say about that?
Mm. Honestly, I thought the Pacers were going to win. Like, I thought they were going to sweep, but they did a lot of threes, and that really was helping them in the long run, and that ultimately led to the Pacers like losing.
Hmm. You said, like, you're saying OKC had a lot of threes.
Yeah, exactly. They had more threes. They had more efficiency, like in shooting and stuff like that. So,
Okay. So who do you want to win?
mm, honestly, the Pacers is honestly getting a lot of flack from some people. I want the Pacers to lose for the fact that they beat the Knicks, and I feel
Okay.
so bad for the Knicks. I feel so bad for them. I had hope. I said with the Liberty winning, getting a ring, I said they have to step up and do the same, but they obviously
Mhm.
brought shame to the city. So you know what? The Pacers, they can lose. They can lose.
Okay. So we have a
What about
faithful
you?
New York fan. We got a faithful New York fan on the line. For that same reason, I'm gonna go with I want OKC to win because as you can see by the paraphernalia in the background, I am a Sooner through and through. Oklahoma City Thunder. You know, they used to ride or die for the Oklahoma Sooners. They'd be on campus, they'd be at the games, supporting gymnastics, football, baseball, everywhere. And so I'm gonna go for the Oklahoma City Thunder, because they're 30 minutes away from OU, and I feel like that's kind of like my secondary local team. So that's what I'm gonna go for.
Right, yeah, they're gonna win.
I
Definitely.
hope so. So we got one more game. By the time this podcast release Wednesday morning, for you guys listening Wednesday morning, there will be a game today as you're listening to it. And hopefully that'll be the end of the series if the Oklahoma City Thunder take it away. I do not want a game seven, but the NBA has its own narratives that it wants to spin. So who knows?
Right. Yeah.
Who knows? Okay, so next we're gonna go into the Coco Gauff winning the French Open. I know y'all. I know y'all. I'm a couple weeks late. Give me some slack. Cut me some slack. But we're not necessarily talking about the win that Coco Gauff had, but we are talking about the sportsmanship of the game and Coco Gauff's opponent, whose name I don't even have actually, but
Oh my God.
it doesn't matter. I'll put her name in the comments or something. She was so embarrassing. What do you think about that, Jay?
She she totally was a certified hater, and I did not appreciate. her little speech at the end of that loss that she had, because she was just talking about the conditions, like it being windy and everything like that. And it's like, girl, you're a professional tennis player. Sometimes it be windy.
Mhm. Yeah.
Don't try to diminish Coco's win because of that. Because if we run the tapes back, you were like screaming more, thinking that you were going to actually score, but it
Mhm.
didn't work in your favor. And I just feel like it was a little disrespectful. While she was literally putting the blanket over her face, just like being dramatic, Coco's literally just like taking selfies. And I'm like, I love that for her. Like she's sitting
Yeah.
pretty, she's slaying, and good for her. Like I'm glad that she won. And she definitely what is that? She definitely, oh my God, sorry, I'm getting a brain fart. She's
No worries. No worries.
definitely she definitely has a lot of class.
Yes. Coco,
Definitely, because
yes.
yes, Coco's giving a lot of grace. Well, she's giving a lot of grace to her, complimenting her, saying that she did a great job. And then the other girl, the opponent, no one knows her name, the opponent, she decides to be disrespectful. And even
Yeah.
in the presser too, as well, like she has poor sportsmanship. And I just don't think that that has like, she needs to sit down. She needs to really reflect and think about how to actually talk to people
Yeah.
and how to
So,
actually continue.
yeah. So my thoughts on that whole debacle, because that's what it was a debacle, was the media and the narratives would have tore Coco Gauff's ass up if the roles would have been reversed and Coco had responded in a post, match press conference the way that her opponent did. And that's something that we've been addressing a lot lately is how the media portrays and pushes certain narratives of certain demographics of people. And I know you guys are tired of hearing the race bait and the race conversation, but imagine how we feel. We're always the one that get the shit into the stick when it comes to like the bad narrative. So imagine how we feel for anybody that's complaining, oh, Jardin, you always talk about this. It's important and things don't go away, things don't get solved by not talking about them. You don't cure cancer by not talking about it and ignoring it. You address these things head on. So I have to do my due diligence and speak on it um, because people need to be more aware of their unknown biases, their subconscious biases in reporting. I mean, we see it in so many facets in the US, and that was one. I saw comments where fans and spectators and people fans of the sport commented calling out the ugly response from Coco's opponent, but the sport did not. The sponsors did not. And we have seen when the shoe is on the other foot a lot of times with uh, Serena Williams. I mean, Serena Williams and her portrayal in the media and how she was treated for, similar things or different grievances that she had with the sport. Um, and it wasn't the same reaction. It wasn't as aggressive of a reaction. It wasn't as harsh of a reaction. And Serena never actively like hated on an opponent. She might have had an issue with the judges and the calling, but she never disrespected an opponent, belittling any win that an opponent had over her. And so I think that that's something that I was like, we have to call that out. The media did not do what they would have done had the other opponent, Coco in this case, been the one that had that negative reaction. Clock it, clock it.
And you are so right about that, because as we remember, when Serena did lose, they literally made graphics of her being what, an elephant? Was it?
I can't keep up. They made so
They
many.
did
I mean,
something.
they made Serena monkeys
Right.
in some graphics.
And it's so crazy to me on the disrespect that Serena gets, because I'm just like, hello, she literally wasn't paid as much as Maria Sharapova, but Maria Sharapova did not win as much as Serena has. And the only
Yeah,
reason
and she was a
why,
bad loser.
exactly, and she also, did like enhancement drugs. So So it's things like that. It's things like that where it's like no one is talking crap about Maria Sharapova and dragging her name through the mud, but they'll take Serena Williams being upset that she lost that match at one point and call her everything in the book. And then we're
Everything.
seeing this here with Coco, and it's just like, oh, they're not really, they're not really like giving her
Screw
grace.
the
They're,
scrutinizing. They're not
yeah,
scrutinizing her at the same level that other black athletes in general are at the same level that they're scrutinized in general.
right, yeah. So I'm like, I don't know, like I just feel like they need to stop babying people because
I think
when it
that's
comes
fair.
to, right, when it comes to black women, like in sports, like I feel like people go a little too hard for no reason. It's like why not to take the conversation someone somewhere else, but it's like we hear buzzwords like, oh, so and so has so much class. This other person is a thug. And it's just like the media needs to do better
Yeah.
because at the end of the day, they control it. Like we're media
Hmm.
too, and it's like we could push certain narratives, but I like to stay true to whatever is
Hmm.
going on here and be like, I call it what it is. This is what's
Hmm.
happening here, and this is what shouldn't happen.
Hmm. And it's very easy to fall into that trap of the media that you consume. That's why you got to pick the media that you consume very carefully. But even like you mentioned, like we're media personnel at this point now, and you have to check your own biases. I mean, I've had to
Hmm.
check myself in certain conversations and say, no, why did you describe this person as this? And it's like, okay, no, refilm that and don't use those adjectives when describing this person. So you do have to check yourself, and it is something that you have to make a conscious decision not to participate in.
Right.
It's not something that's going to come easy or it's just going to happen one day. You have to make a conscious decision to break that mold and break what's kind of been ingrained in us for such a long time. Us, being in the US and how far back and how deeply ingrained those things are. You got to unlearn those things. So,
Exactly. And that's why we're here today,
yep,
showing people the
exactly.
way.
All right, so with that, we are gonna go on to something that actually breaks my heart. And y'all know I was talking mad shit a couple episodes. I think it was the last episode I was talking mad shit. But anyways, the Oklahoma Sooners got defeated by Texas Tech, the Texas Tech Raiders in the Women's College World Series. Oklahoma, who was the reigning champs the past 4 years in a row, was going for a five-peat, which would have been the first five-peat in the history of softball. And they were taken down by the Texas Tech Raiders, who were led by, I don't know if I'm saying her name right, but NiJaree Canady or Canady. Canady?
Kennedy.
Canady.
Kennedy.
Canady, okay. I'm gonna go with Canady. Thank you for that correction. Um, what do we think about that? Do you watch softball?
Not anymore as much, no. I honestly haven't really watched since Monica Abbott in Tennessee.
Okay.
Hmm. Like she's an
Okay.
amazing pitcher, but Kennedy, she's definitely she deserves all the greatness that's
Yeah.
coming her way, to be honest with you.
I became a fan of softball when I was at OU during the Lauren Chamberlain era. You know, the original home run queen had the record for most home runs in a season, had the freshman record for home runs, and that's what made me pay attention to it. And then we come in a couple years, Oklahoma wins the championship, and then you meet Jocelyn Allo, who we had on the podcast just last year, who is, who was also the home run queen coming out of OU from Hawaii. And, she broke Lauren Chamberlain's record and won a couple softball championships with the Sooners as well. And so that really like piqued my interest. I was actually at the game when OU won with Jocelyn Allo in her final year at OU. So that was my first NCAA championship game that I had ever been to, and then my first time being present when my team won. So that was such a great experience. So it was really heartbreaking for me to hear that the Sooners did not win, but I was okay because um, of NiJaree, and I was okay with losing to her because I was like, she's such a stud.
And honestly, like that's really special that you got to, experience that and really fall in love with the game. Because obviously,
Mhm.
like, being a Sooner, the pride, the school spirit 10 out of 10. And that's why
Mhm.
I used to watch them when the Paris twins were there. Courtney and then what's her, oh my God, I can't believe I forgot her other sister's name. But the Paris twins. If I say that, people would know what I'm talking about. But
Uh-huh.
spectacular, spectacular. And with Kennedy, I get it. Get it. We can't be mad. We can't be mad.
Can't be
She's
mad.
something else, to be
Mm-mm.
honest with you.
Now let's talk about her contract. So, for the 2024 season, she signed a contract. Texas Tech paid her in NIL money, $1 million. This year, it is being speculated because we cannot confirm or deny these number amounts because the school will not confirm them. It's a conjunction of their contract that they have. But apparently, she has been offered. Will been. I think it's official. What is estimated to be about $1.8 million to continue her tenure at Texas Tech as a Raider. The NIL money smells so good. And she would be the highest paid softball player ever in the NIL era. I mean, you really don't see any other sports getting paid directly through a school other than football and of course men's basketball. So it's so exciting, it's so fun, it's refreshing to hear that a woman is getting a piece of the pie for sure.
And I'm happy for her. And honestly, what is it? Stanford that she was at? She was at Stanford before.
Hmm.
Man, I know they are kicking wind thinking about
Hmm.
her being over there and on her, she's already successful, but you know what I mean? Like, her path. Like, I know they wanted
Hmm.
to be a part of that now all of a sudden. And it's like, man, listen, like, well deserved. But
Hmm.
also, also heard since everything is like under wraps right now, that
Hmm.
they're possibly trying to make her as like one of the last people to ever receive something like this because of the new rules that's like in place. So like
With
wrestlers
the
and stuff like that.
clearinghouse.
Yeah, it's really weird. I'm like, I don't like that because I think that her having this NIL deal is spectacular, and more women and other sports too as well, not just in softball. They should also, be elevated in that way too as well, because
Yeah.
it's not all
That
about men at the end of the day.
that whole thing with like the clearinghouse and how NIL is going to be regulated, I do agree. And I spoke on the podcast before that NIL does need to be regulated because it's very quickly getting way out of hand with the amounts and the transfer portal and the kids bouncing around taking a check from this school and not even playing a down or having a single play in this uniform before they transfer and collect another check at another school. It is getting crazy. It is everything that Nick Saban truly hated, but and why he left the
Right,
sport. So I do agree that there needs to be regulation when it comes to NIL because it's just a madhouse right now. Um,
right,
but the way that they're going about it is again greedy. NCAA is going to get their hands on anything. Their little like consulting firm that they're using, I want to say it's Deloitte, is managing all of that. So they'll have the power to, accept or decline the offers and, look at the fine print of these contracts to basically approve if the athlete can accept it or not. So that is going to be another shit show, I think. I think that they started NIL way too early. Like they started it off without having regulation, so it's much harder to, you know, make something a free for all and then try to add regulation and make it strict. It's like y'all should have came in being strict. I think the NIL was done very, it was released and available way too prematurely. It's like players have been waiting for decades to be paid.
right.
They could have waited another year or two.
Yeah, I agree with you. I agree with you definitely. I mean, if we think about the past too as well, they're all like even like Sue Bird, she's like, I wish I had something like that. But it's
Mhm.
like It's getting messy. It's getting messy. Too many people are and like too many people have entered that transfer portal, and it's just wild. But I think with Kennedy right here, like she's going to bring them to another victory.
Mhm.
I
Yeah,
definitely see that.
she wasn't able to finish it, and not even like it's a team sport. Softball is definitely a team sport. It
Yeah,
takes effort from everyone on the team,
right.
and they weren't able to like close it out. They ended up losing to the University of Texas, my arch nemesis. They ended up losing to them in the for the NCAA championship, but I think NiJaree will be able to come back, and hopefully the team will rally around her and the support from Texas Tech, which has an awesome fan base. I hate to say, it, but has a great fan base, lots of school spirit. Hopefully they'll be able to rally around her and get like and have that final hoorah moment, that full circle moment where they end up winning the championship, getting the
Right.
NCAA title eventually. So.
Yeah.
With that, so I'm excited that Mama's getting her money. Now we're going to the juicy stuff, which is very this next conversation might be a little messy, but I love mess, I love drama, I love the theatrics. So I don't know if you guys have heard it, but the BET Awards were last week, and for the nomination category of Sportswoman of the Year, Sportswoman of the Year was won by Angel Reese. You know, okay,
Here we
we'll do a
go.
little
Here we
cheer.
go.
Yeah, here we go. It was won by Angel Reese, but a couple people had some things to say. Another nominee, Claressa Shields, the boxer, has a biography on like Netflix or HBO somewhere. Clarissa Shields has a really great story. I love her story. I feel like Clarissa Shields does not get the recognition that she truly deserves for all the accolades that she has. But Clarissa Shields took to Instagram and say, I'm happy for Angel Reese, but I should have won the award, stating that she had more accolades than Angel Reese did for this year. She said, I'm not hating. I'm just saying, aren't awards supposed to be on accolades? I had the better accolades. I had more accolades for my sport. I should have won. So, off the top of your head, Jay, what are your thoughts on this?
I was honestly exhausted when I saw that tweet because it's not right to tear another black woman down. It's not right to tear anybody down, especially like if you are a woman, you want to always elevate women no matter what. I
Mhm,
think that both things can be true, but there's some things that shouldn't be said. Like, like she has been a great, boxer and everything like that. She does have those accolades. However, this is not the time to go and attack a 23-year-old because how old is she?
I'm 30. Clarissa Shields got to be around my age.
Yeah,
She got to
so
be around
like
my
I would
age.
never. I can't even imagine talking crap to a 23-year-old. Like I have other things to do, to be honest. Like I'm not doing that. So it's
Mhm,
it's just I thought it was really weird and again like poor sportswomanship because
mhm,
these awards here, I can't take it seriously when it comes to BET for crying out loud because they had Snoop Dogg in them up there who voted for Trump. Like that is not beneficial to black people at all. So like I can't take BET seriously at this point. But that's T right there. So
mhm,
with this whole thing with Angel Reese, it's like, why are people acting like Angel Reese haven't been that girl? I wasn't watching high school basketball when Angel Reese was in high school, but she's been popping literally since high school.
mhm,
And when we think about everything that she has done, like, yeah, like she's making new records in the W and stuff. She trademarked Me Bounds. She's turning the hate that people give her into light and she's getting her coin. So it's like, like I get it. There's a lot of expectation on Angel Reese and there's a lot of forced hate towards Angel Reese. And
mhm.
I don't think it was appropriate for her to do something like that because Angel Reese is already going through it. And just
Yeah.
to add that on in a moment where it's time for celebration, I just feel like it's weird. And she should definitely grow up with that. Don't beat me up, but like she should grow up.
So I had similar thoughts. You actually made me look at the situation a little bit differently and consider some things that I wasn't originally considering. So my initial thoughts were Claressa Shields, I didn't think she was wrong. I did not think that Angel Reese should have won Sportswoman of the Year. But like you mentioned, it's a BET award, not belittling the award. Well, I guess I kind of am. It is what it is. But it's just like, what is the criteria for this award? It is a BET award. Like, whatever. It's not an SP. It's not a sports related host, hosting committee. So it's like, okay, I do agree with you when you said like it just wasn't appropriate, and you don't want to like Angel Reese has already been torn down unnecessarily by people since she's been in college. Clarissa Shields didn't need to add to that, because I agree. I Angel Reese is not my favorite player. I've said it many times on my podcast. She's not my favorite player. Some of her antics, I'm like, that wasn't really necessary. It's a little over the top. But I can admit that she gets a lot of unnecessary hate. Um, that is often racism coded as something else. But so it was inappropriate. I think that's the best way to say it. It was inappropriate for Clarissa Shields to give her opinion on that. Everybody can have thoughts. Not every thought needs to come out of your mouth or be tweeted or posted on Instagram. I think she she just would have been better off like not saying anything at all, especially since Clarissa Shield has been in so much drama recently with Papoose and who she's dating and beefing with Remy Ma and like beefing with rappers and sending threats and dating married men. It's just like let's reel it back a little bit. You got bigger fish to fry over who got this award. Now, let me tell y'all, let's go through and do y'all service, and we got to say who the nominees were. Because once I went and did my research and set the nominees, I was like, I don't think either one of them should have won that damn award. So,
Exactly.
for BET Sportswoman of the Year, the nominees were Asia Wilson, Sha'Carri, Flau'jae, Angel Reese, Claressa Shields, Coco Gauff, Simone Biles, Dawn Staley, and Juju Watkins. Out of those nominees, remember this is for the year of 2024. Who had the better 2024? Who would have been your top two for that award?
Honestly, I'm gonna go with Dawn. She's a legend. Number one. Number two, Asia Wilson. She literally carried the Aces on her back, even though they were getting beaten. We tried to get that three-peat. We really tried. However, Asia really did everything in her power to really try to bring the Aces to success. She literally was getting beaten up on the court. The refs weren't calling anything at all. Literally, Asia was bleeding and everything. Still, no foul. Asia deserves it for sure. And then with Dawn, come on. She's amazing. A
Yeah.
legend. I
So
mean,
I
unfortunately, oh, sorry.
no, 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 go ahead. Go ahead.
No, like unfortunately she lost, but also not unfortunate because I'm a major UConn Husky fan, so Huskies all day. I'm glad that my Huskies won. However, like Dawn, I feel like she deserves any award. Like if anybody's going against her, like 10 out of 10. She's
But the
amazing.
Huskies won 2025. They won
Oh
this
wait.
year.
Oh wait. Oh my God, 24. You know what?
Yeah,
Not me
Dom
being
won
goofy.
2024.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, yeah, yeah. Give her that then. Yeah, period. No,
Give her the
I'm
award then.
ashamed. I'm ashamed. Give her the award immediately. Like, I'm not even joking. There's no reason why Angel Reese should have won that.
Yeah, so I agree. My top two, and I struggled with this a little bit. I said Dawn Staley was my number one. I was like, I mean, her autobiography, like her book,
Hmm.
um, her strides in basketball. She was in the Hall of Fame, inducted to the Hall of Fame this year, last year.
Yes, it
My
was
number
last
one was
year.
Dawn Staley. And then my number two was out of Asia Wilson, Simone Biles, and Juju Watkins. I said Simone
Hmm.
Biles because the Olympics, I believe Simone maxed out in the Olympics. She performed really well in the Olympics and set some more records that probably won't be beat. And then I said Juju
Right.
Watkins because she set a couple records for incoming, the freshman records at USC, and she had a really great year at USC. She carried her team on her back as well. But ultimately, I was like, "Ugh, it might really go to Dawn," but nowhere was Angel Reese. and freaking Claressa Shields in my like top five of people. But maybe that's because I'm not a boxing fan. I don't like all that blood and gory stuff. So I would have had to go out of my way to research Claressa Shields' current accolades because the accolades that I have in my head are going to be outdated. I didn't even know she was still
Hmm.
boxing because when she's on the internet, it's about papoose.
And honestly, I haven't heard about her until I heard about her being on Zeus Network, and she wanted to have them say, "Oh, she's allowed to hit the girls and not get arrested," because obviously her hands are a deadly weapon. So it's like,
They're registered.
number one, no hate on Zeus. I personally worked on Jocelyn's Cabaret. I love Jocelyn. That's my girl.
Wait,
However,
wait, stop, 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 stop. You worked on the show?
yeah, season 4, Jocelyn's Cabaret, New York.
This is so random. Go ahead, go ahead.
So
I'm
yeah,
screaming.
yeah. I can't. Okay, shout out to Jocelyn Hernandez. I love you, doing cha cha. But also like, let's be for real here. Like, I didn't know who she was, so I was just like, why would she even want to go on this thing? And then I started to hear about the whole Remy Ma thing, and I'm like, Remy Ma is crazy. She might shoot you because didn't she like do that already and like beat up a fan? Like, I'm not trying to mess with her, but at the same time, I'm
No.
just like, why are we fighting over a married man? Like, where's the decorum? You definitely don't deserve an award for that. Like, get that's not girl power. That's not girl power at all. And it's very questionable to me. I don't think she doesn't deserve that award. She needs to like seriously like sit down, look in the mirror, and reflect on everything that she's doing because she's going down a really bad path.
I think I agree. I think that like one, it's super easy to not like deal with a married man. Just wait till his divorce finalized. It's really that simple.
Right.
But two, I think that Claressa Shields needs like to hire somebody for her PR and her media. Like she doesn't need to be running that. Um, we know um how having a good team around you can affect the trajectory of your legacy and just like your brand and the deals that you receive, etc. So I'm like, I want her to hire a PR person, hire a media person, hire a spokesperson, because more people know Claressa Shields right now as it stands as beefing with Remy Ma and messing with Papoose than they do for her amazing history in boxing and fighting. I mean, she overcame so many odds. She has such a great story. So I hate for that story to you know, be flooded with things that really don't matter. But now it's going to be ingrained in her legacy because of what she's been involved in and who she's been involved with, and it's tainting her status. It's tainting her brand, like her Clarissa Shield, her personal brand. So I'm like, dang, like hire a team and have them start doing crisis management. Shit, hire me. Let's clean
Yeah.
up. Let's clean it up. Let's clean up the persona. Let's clean up the media presence. Let's go on a press tour and just talk about just straight boxing. Hell, do a celebrity boxing match with Remy Ma. Something. We got to show people that you're not a Love and Hip Hop cast member. You are a boxer. Like,
Exactly. And honestly, that is a really good idea. We can put it on Zeus Network pay-per-view like they did before with Tommy Lee versus Natalie. She's already in talks with them anyway. Like, let's get it done. Let's get it done because it's a shame. It's a shame to have your legacy tarnished for doing XYZ. And it's like, again, like I said, like I didn't know who she was. And you're telling me that she did all these amazing things and she had an amazing story. I believe that there's room for redemption for everybody, to
mm,
be honest with you. So
mm.
it's not too late for her to step back and get an amazing PR team. I hope that she sees this video. We'll send her the link and we'll go from there.
I'm screaming. Jay, that will send her the link. I'm crying.
I'm
I
serious.
will send her the link. No, seriously. But no, that This has been like a great talk. I'm glad I like when there's someone that I get to talk to or interview or like co-host with, and we have differing perspectives. I like a little clash, not like a physical clash, but like, like just because we're on the same platform don't mean we have to agree on everything. We can, oh, I like this point, I like this point. Oh, well, actually, I'm gonna, challenge you on this just because I like learning the perspective. So it was great hearing your perspectives on this episode. Definitely got to get you on for some more episodes in the future. To hear your perspective on some upcoming topics because college football's gonna start back up and we know men with money that I never had money before, who knows what could come of it. So I'm sure we'll get some great stories in the future. And thank you so much for coming on. Like you were natural. You did great.
Thank you very much for having me. I loved it. It's been a blast. I love yapping. So this is great. Definitely look forward to being on the episode more. I do have to lock into the college football because I don't watch that. So that'll be a new
Oh,
experience.
oh.
I'll lock in.
Okay, bet. I got some great content coming for college football. We're gonna do some like little seminars and stuff, or like some little quick post vids explaining football. Because it can be a little tricky to learn on your own, and sometimes the men be a little impatient with teaching us. So definitely lock in. It's a great sport to follow. It's always so much going on. There's so many stories. So stay tuned. Playbook Diaries fans and viewers and listeners, y'all stay tuned as well. We are here with my girl Jay. I'm your host, Jardin, and we are the Playbook Diaries podcast, and we are signing out until next week. Y'all have a good week.